Howdy cowpoke, welcome back. I'm your host, RR Slugger, and today we're taking a look at not one, but two classic Western sets. 6755 Sheriff's Lockup and 6761 Bandit's Secret Hideout. Hailing from 1996, LEGO Western is a series I initially had very little interest in covering on this channel. Besides having very few of the sets as a kid myself, Trick Bricks already made extremely in-depth reviews of these kits, and I felt there was very little need for a slug to simply echo what he had said. However, acquiring both of these sets as an adult has really opened my eyes to how unique the LEGO Western theme was, and I wanted to add my voice to the chorus of nearly unanimous praise it still receives as a series. Sheriff's Lockup and Bandit's Secret Hideout are both brimming with play potential, and yet somehow manage to balance that with being compelling minifigure-scaled display pieces as well. There are no obvious brightly colored levers or toggles to activate the play features hidden within, and as an adult fan of LEGO now, this is really appreciated. It adds a maturity to these models that doesn't diminish their childlike appeal. I want to spend some time diving deeper into each set here today, so let's start by looking at Sheriff's Lockup. Now, right out of the gate, when the prospect of a perfect LEGO set is brought up, this one immediately comes to mind. It's hard not to oversell this set following a statement like that, but I really do think this is one of the best kits the company has ever released. Featuring an even pairing of minifigures, here we are introduced to our heroes and villains. Standing on the side of law and order is our titular sheriff, Wild Wyatt, proudly sporting the badge that grants him authority. Outside of accessory packs, the printed hat and torso are exclusive to this character, though he did appear in several sets in the theme. Wyatt was also dozens of different pirates in a previous life, but later ended up working as a rebel technician. The sheriff's deputy, Zach, is our second figure here, and he too looks familiar. Leaving behind the icy mines of Cristo, the deputy turned in his space chainsaw for a rifle to help the sheriff maintain civility on the frontier. Wearing a figure-exclusive Scully fringe vest, the deputy certainly dresses the part well. Now for the hooligans. Flatfoot Thompson is the town's most hunted criminal, wanted dead or alive for bank robbery. As a side note, $500 of American currency in the Old West would have the purchasing power of over $15,000 today. Flatfoot is aided by veteran card shark Dewey Cheatham. Dewey's gold tooth and classy attire might fool some, but it's hard to believe he came by this wealth honestly, given the company he keeps. Both bandits have exclusive head and torso prints to their characters and are featured throughout the LEGO Western series. The Sheriff's Lockup consists of two main structures. The larger of the two is the Sheriff's Office. With a plethora of period-accurate details and a few well-placed stickers, this model brings the frontier to life. I love the added detail of elevating the foundation of the structure, and a few massive 6x16 plates make it all possible. The angled roof creates an awning over the walkway, and these wooden posts provide support. The painted white door and trim on the window frames add just a touch of class to the whole affair. These are simple details, but simple details are all that are called for. This isn't supposed to be a lavish mansion home or a moss-covered castle, it's Western false front architecture at its finest. Inside, we can see the sheriff relaxing in his recliner behind his desk. Across from him rests a large safe that could make for a tempting target of would-be bandits. However, the sheriff has thought one step ahead of them and hidden most of the money in his desk instead. Alternatively, you could hide a pistol in here in case a shootout commences. Speaking of which, let's talk about firearms. This set includes 3 rifles and a whopping 4 pistols, one for each character. Add to that this printed stick of dynamite and you've got the makings of an all-out brawl. I know I sometimes mock adventurers sets for having an excess of guns, but here their inclusion is completely warranted. We're not rescuing dinosaurs or looking for some lost Marco Polo treasure, we're trying to violently break someone out of prison. On that note, let's take a look at the jail we've got here. I've moved it to a separate base plate to make this easier. To call this an 8x8 cell would be generous, as there's hardly room to move about within. No wonder Flatfoot wants out so bad. Besides all the iron bars providing vision to the free world, there's a small cutaway where food and drink can be given to the prisoner. Unlike the sheriff's office, all 4 sides of this cell seem to be shut up tight, with no obvious weakness to exploit. With the deputy standing watch above, this might as well be Fort Knox. However, if the bandits are able to catch the deputy napping, there may be a way to put this dynamite to good use. Sliding the printed dynamite tile into this small slot triggers what I consider to be one of the best play features ever included in a LEGO set. That's awesome! The whole mechanism functions by slowly raising this Technic shock absorber from its mooring until both the jailbird himself as well as any innocent bystanders need to beware, because when this bomb goes off, it goes off. Wonderful fun, and even though this can come across rather violent, it's cartoonish enough to evoke Wile E. Coyote sensibilities. This isn't blood and gore, and I think it conveys the sense that even if a minifigure is blown apart, they can be put back together in no time. But if it's carnage that we want, then we need to look no further than the Bandit's secret hideout. I was genuinely taken aback by this set, both by its sheer number of play features as well as the potential brutality behind the scene depicted here. Unlike our previous set, Bandit's secret hideout does not offer up a fair fight when it comes to the minifigures included. Flatfoot and Dewey return once again, but this time they're aided by their partner in crime, Black Bart. The trio have holed up in this abandoned mineshaft, creating a perfect base of operations for them. Their unexpected quarry are a pair of cavalry soldiers escorting supplies across this canyon road. We saw both of these guys in the video I made on Frontier Patrol, though I have corrected their outfits since then. They came wielding a similar array of accessories here, but I think the more notable equipment lies in tow. This pack horse has been saddled with a safe and rifle box. This firearms case is actually an identical build to the one we see in Fort Legoredo, and I absolutely love it when LEGO sets share this sort of inner theme continuity. There's no need to reinvent the wheel with small side builds like this, so I think reusing designs only reinforces the immersion and believability of the world being created. Taken on its own, this caravan seems well protected and alert to danger. However, I don't think they realize they're walking into a death trap. If this cavalry cavalcade is too cavalier, their cavallo can cause a cascade of chaotic calamity. Tripping this line sends Flatfoot Thompson careening down the track with cannon loaded to bear. The version included in my copy of this set is of the non-firing variant, but switching it out for one from Barracuda Bay allows us to make good use of these cannonballs. This secondary rock outcropping can serve as both cover and elevation for any bandits waiting in hiding. If the cavalry soldiers can somehow survive that, this mounted Gatling gun honestly ensures their fate. I know it's grim to think about, but looking through the sightlines of this weapon made me realize how much of a one-sided slaughter this set depicts. Now, that's only one way to look at it. The box art inside the inner flap shows that if the cavalry soldiers know what they're getting into ahead of time, they might be able to beat the bandits at their own game. Regardless, the bandits' secret hideout makes for a brilliant playscape to host all sorts of Wild West battles. In addition to the features already discussed, there are still more. This stout water tower can be toppled, spilling any contents onto the ground below. If explosive ordnance is to be used, this staircase makes for a tempting target, easily lifted and removed after being blown up. The rooftop houses yet another play feature. This gold mine sign can be pushed aside, allowing a barrel to roll down and strike any unlucky souls below. Lastly, should the bandits prevail and secure the safe, they can keep any plunder in their secret stash below the Keep Out sign. Overall, simply phenomenal playability here, and the box art depicts even more scenarios you can play out. While it's frankly remarkable this set is able to deliver so much with only 238 pieces, I'd be lying if I didn't think it was a dozen or so short. There are a number of conspicuous holes in the geometry here that could have been easily filled with a few extra gray bricks. Additionally, the interior is left quite barren. This doesn't bother me quite as much, as you can always add elements from other sets here. However, that does require sourcing more from elsewhere. Between the two sets, I still feel that Sheriff's Lockup is the better all-in-one package. Given that it was re-released in 2002, the increase of supply has helped keep prices down even today. With that being said, Bandit's Secret Hideout really impressed me. I've seen it come up for sale several times before, but never really paid it much mind. I only finally decided to grab this one locally because it came with the box and the pieces appeared to be in great shape. In the end, I'm sure glad I did. Anyways, that's the best of the West as I see it. Once again, this video was brought to you by the Summer of Slug, and my thanks go out to all of those who helped make it happen. If you want to saddle up and join the posse, you can check out the link in the description. I've been your host, RR Slugger, and I'll see you next time for another video.